forces you to go to the bar. Nobody forces you to smoke.
Yeah.
Right? The same way you formed those habits. I'm not saying it's easy, but you have to actively and intentionally undo those habits. Right? If smoking a vape, they call it smoking a vape,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if vaping is a habit you want to drop, then don't be going and buying the refills. Don't even go past the store, because that'll be a mental trigger for you. Hide the vape, throw the vape, right? If eating junk is a problem for you, don't have it in the house.
Right.
When I was in prep, I couldn't even look at junk, right? I had no junk in the house because we're like savages when we're in bodybuilding prep. And we see it, we smell it, we want it, right? We have to hibernate from it. We have to remove ourselves initially from those environments. I'm 2 years sober from alcohol. How did I do that? Well, it didn't happen overnight. I had to remove myself from situations where alcohol was being served. I had to say no to things that I would have loved to have gone to in order to restrain myself, to deny my flesh of what it wants, right? If you keep ending up in relationships with men or women that are not serving your greater good, are not aligned with the person that you're going to become, then you need to stop pointing the finger outwards and redirect it inwards and go, hang on a minute, what am I doing wrong? What pattern am I repeating? Let me break the circuit.
Yes.
How do I break the circuit? Well, let me do some soul searching. Where am I meeting these people? Is it the same person in different bodies? Am I meeting them on Instagram? Am I meeting them in a bar? Right? You need to change something in order to break the cycle that you're in.
Yes.
Right?
And just to touch on that as well, right? I'm sure a lot of people have heard, be a leader, not a follower.
Yes.
Be a leader. That doesn't necessarily mean you leading other people. That means you gotta lead yourself.
Yes.
First and foremost.
Yeah.
Right? You have to set your own standards.
Yes.
And keep them high.
Yeah.
Set the bar.
Yeah.
Right? And then execute.
Yeah.
Come up with a plan that you can systematically follow, right? That is going to keep improving and progressing your way of life.
Yeah, and here's what's going to happen. The minute you commit to making change, it's called the change cycle. The minute you say, right, I'm done, and that can happen in one of two ways. It can happen in your despair, breakdown, whether it's relationships are just dragging you away from your purpose, whether it's you're stuck in you know, an unhealthy physiology, right? You want to lose some weight. You're unhappy with the choices you're making when it comes to your nutrition. You will get to a point where you're so sick of the situation. You're so sick of showing up in the world in this way, of being treated this way, that the breakdown will then trigger your desire for change. Now, I'm here to tell you that is not a position you want to be in. So the best indicator or trigger for your change is self-honesty. Before you get to burnout, before you get to, all right, now I've gained 50 pounds that I knew I could have prevented, before you get to, oh gosh, now I'm pregnant by this man that I had no business even being around, before you get there, self-honesty. It's up to you which path you want to take. But I, as a woman who had to go through breakdown to have my breakthrough, I'm telling you, that is not pretty. I would much rather have gone the other route. So you have a choice, or you can wait. You can wait until it gets so bad that you have no choice to change. So we decide to change. It's only after we make the decision that we're going to change that fear creeps in, right? Fear creeps in, and you'll know, coach to coach, this is where we have to remind people of their why. Why did you commit to this in the first place? What is your reason for wanting to do this? Because I imagine when people come to you, Blayze, it's not merely that they just want to look good. What other reasons do people deep down really show up and commit to high performance?
Oh, there's so many reasons. Yeah? Again, like you said, finding your why.
Yes.
You have some people that will come to me saying they want to keep up with their kids. You got some people that show up who say, I want to compete this year. I want to step out of my comfort zone.
Yes.
It's not just about, oh, I want to lose fat.
No.
Oh, I want to build muscle, this and that. And I find that people who can't be specific with their goals, like really dig down deep and find exactly why they want to do this.
Yes.
Those are the people who are kind of wishy-washy.
Yeah, it's a fixed mindset persona.
Yeah.
It'll never last.
Yeah, like you need to know why exactly do I want to come up in here and commit to a program where I'm going to supposedly change my habits. It's up to you though, right? I can't be there 100% of the time telling you what to do, what not to do. It's a you. It's a you problem that you need to figure out.
Yes,
so,
exactly. And on the days where you feel demotivated, that's where you hang on to your why. That's where you use your why as your anchor, right? What is this deeper sense of purpose? Well, I want to live a long life. I have an autistic son. I cannot afford to die young. So I got to add as many years to my life as I can. That's why I want to build muscle. That's why I want to be strong, right? I got to live. And believe me, that boy can run. So I got to run fast too. I got to get the cardio in and run fast to chase after him when he's sprinting through Commander Bay. So what is your why? Because that's going to get you out of bed in the morning. Why do you want to be a better woman? Why do you want to be a better man? What are your standards for your life? You get to decide those. Isn't that empowering? And it should scare you. Right. It should scare you signing up to that program for 4 to 6 weeks. It should be terrifying. Yeah. You should have doubts and fears, but I tell you what, when you push through, when you get in touch with Blayze and he's following up with you, or even better, he doesn't have to follow up with you because you're there, right? When you push through, the fears of people judging you, you haven't stepped in a gym in such a long time, you don't know if you can commit, just commit to the next day, step by step. Just commit to the next day, step by step. And the consistency will build your willpower muscle until you don't even have to think about it. Now, if I don't go train, my whole day is out of whack. Now my life is organized around going and training because it's who I am.
Yes.
Right? If there's a business opportunity for me, I'm like, listen, I'll meet you after I've been to train. Because that's the order of my life.
It's part of your virtues.
It's part of my virtues, right? And you might have to get creative with how that works. But you can make it happen if you really want to. Exactly. And if you allow limiting beliefs to get into your head to tell you, I can't do it, I'm never going to be able to complete a 6-week program, I can't afford it, limiting beliefs. What are you spending your money on? Reorganize, right? Exactly. What are you spending your time on? Get organized, right? I've got kids. Whatever you spend that extra bit of disposable on, spend it on a sitter. Because I guarantee you, it's not just about a workout. It's about getting in the gym, raising the standards for your life, committing to something higher than yourself, and then showing up for your family in a much greater way than you ever could have imagined. And that's really what the gym did for me. I didn't know what I was doing back in the day. I remember being on a cross trainer, just fighting for my life. I'm gonna just get all my frustrations out. I'm fighting for my life when I'm here, right? And then, your body rewards you. You're like, oh, is that me? And then, is that my quads? All right, I'm gonna go again and again and again, right? Because your brain defaults to pain or pleasure. We wanna run from the initial pain. No, run into it. Because nothing great ever came from sitting in your comfort zone. That pleasure, short term, right here and now, comfort of your bed, free time to do nothing but scroll. It's not serving you.
It's brain rot.
Yeah. It's brain rot. Who wants that? Even the word itself makes me like grimace. I'm like, brain rot.
And like, just to add on to what you said as well, right? Having that level of pride in yourself to go on, create these systems and execute. Sometimes you need to get to the level where you don't even need a specific purpose. You just do it for you. Yes. You have that self-love to know, okay, this is what's going to make me feel good. I'm just going to go do it, no matter if I have a marathon, or no matter if I have a bodybuilding competition, or, this and that. So,
this is who I am.
Yeah.
This is who I am,
That's
and this
the
is what I do.
That I'm setting for myself.
Yes. Right? It's not because I have to get fit for this competition, or I must do it for this marathon. This is just ingrained in my identity.
Exactly.
People need to understand you get to decide who you are. Right? You're never stuck. I don't care what your situation is. Every tool and resource you need to transform your life is within you. It's within you. Tap into that. Be still with God. He has a purpose for your life. You are worthy. You are worthy of a body that serves you. You are worthy of standards that reflect your inner world, right? Let those shine on the outside. Do whatever you can to sustain this baseline of happiness and fulfillment for your life, right? Because that's the way God made you. Delight yourself in the Lord, and he will give you the desires of your heart, right? Be a delightful, joyful person. I'm not saying we don't have bad days, I have them too. But it's your responsibility to go, I need to fix this, change this, how can I do that? So for me, I pack my day full of stuff that I love. And I start it with prayer. I play with my children in the morning. It begins with the nutrition that I put in my body first thing, right? My oats, my peanut butter, my berries, my protein powder. Then it's my training. I get that hard stuff done first thing. And then today, look, we're having this engaging conversation, which is lighting me up as well. It's packing your day, your life through the habits, the sum of your habits that will revolutionize who you become. That's how you transform. That's how you outgrow your old environment. And I want to make this point, Blayze, that I'm sure you'll agree with me. Where you've come from does not dictate where you're going.
So.
Right? Where do you stand on that?
So you know how people say you're always a product of your environment. Right? Well, then move away from that environment. I understand that.
Just drop the mic. Just pull the mic off and drop it.
Yeah, I mean, it's that simple, right?
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Some people have it tougher than others.
Yeah, we have different starting points in life,
Yes.
of course.
Exactly. But if it's not changing you for the better, then why stay? If it's not propelling you towards the person you want to be, why stay? If that friendship is still allowing you to be in an environment where they're smoking, drinking, partying, reveling, why stay? If that's not who you want to be,
Leave.
right? And people are so afraid to go into something new. I'm not sure why. I'm sure that you can touch on that.
Yeah.
You got the knowledge on that, but I'm not sure why people decide to stay in an environment which is basically self-sabotage.
It's that.
Right?
It's self-sabotage. As human beings, your brain is wired to keep you in what is familiar, even if that familiarity is self-sabotaging you. Now, when you feel fear, you need to replace it and reframe it with, and it's going to sound crazy, but the same physiological feelings you get in your body for nervousness or anxiety are actually the same physiological reaction you get when you're excited. So when I'm about to give a talk, if my brain goes, oh, we're scared, I go, no, we're excited, we're exhilarated, let's go, right? Tony Robbins, he jumps on a little trampoline before he goes to talk. You can reframe these thoughts. You're not your thoughts. Your brain will say, stay still. Your brain will say, you can't get another woman, another man. Your brain will say, stay with these people. This is where you belong. You're no good. No. Your brain just wants to keep you staying put, right? And it's not to hurt you. It's because it thinks danger if you go do something new. But it's not danger. There's no reward without the risk. You've got to run into that fear. You've got to start to reframe those thoughts, which is phase 2 of developing a growth mindset, and recognize that this is just a cognitive distortion. That's the psychological term for it. Cognitive distortion. I am not my environment. I am not my past. I am not my thoughts. I am a watcher of my thoughts. Those thoughts, I catch them. I get them. I'm like, oh, Chelsea, I have my low days, like, oh gosh, this, and this. And then I go, oh, that's interesting. Why am I thinking in this way today? I'm being my thoughts seem a bit Debbie Downer today. What's going on? And I actually name my fixed mindset persona. And I say, not today, Satan. Or I say, not today, Felicia. Bye, Felicia.
Bye, Felicia.
Yeah, bye, Felicia. I'm serious. Because once you can identify that that's not me, it's just, it may be an old version of me, but it's my limiting beliefs. It's okay to have those negative thoughts, that inner critic, but crush them.
Yeah.
Do the opposite.
That reminds me of a book that I read, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Great book.
Self-talk.
Yeah.
Self-talk is one of the keys to break through that subconscious, how would I say, that subconscious
voice
and critic, yes, precisely.
Yeah.
Right? Self-talk, being able to put it out loud.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. And rationalize it.
Yes.
Is this a fact or an opinion? Right?
Yeah.
Chelsea, this is not a fact. Maybe you just feel a bit low today. Have you met your basic human needs? Are you hungry? Are you tired? Right? Do you just need some sense of community? Do you need to reach out to a friend? Because your thoughts have been spinning lately and not in a good way. One thing I like to do with my coaching clients is called inversion therapy techniques, inversion thinking. So inversion thinking is where you ask yourself questions that would be the opposite of the outcome you want. So for example, I might say, oh, maybe I should just go to that bar tonight with you know, a bunch of friends because, yeah, we'll probably be out till 12, but I always get to bed by 10 o'clock. Like, what does it matter if I'm out a couple of hours later? So then the question you ask yourself is, what would somebody who is trying to fail at reaching their fitness goals do? Well, someone who's trying to fail would go out until 12 o'clock and be too tired to go to the gym tomorrow.
Yeah,
So therefore,
doing it, actually.
right? Therefore, that is not what my higher self will be doing. And if I wanted to fail, that's what I'd do. Other inversion thoughts you could ask yourself is, when you're faced with a decision about whether you should take a certain action, is things like, what would guarantee my failure? What behaviors, thoughts and actions would somebody who is not trying to achieve this goal be doing, right? How have other people who have failed at going sober, what have they failed at? What were they doing? Oh, well, they were in these places, or, you know, they have that bottle of wine in the house, or they don't say no, they don't have good boundaries. Look at all of those as blind spots. That is how you can use another tool or strategy to ensure that you're acting in a way that is in alignment with the person you're striving to become, with your new environment that you get to create. Inversion thinking. So, faith has clearly been a big foundation for you, because so much so that you went and got saved. What was the thinking behind getting saved? Why did you decide to do that?
I think I was going through exactly what you mentioned earlier. I hit a very low point in my life.
Yeah.
In terms of my mental health. And the only person that I felt could help me was God. And so I dived real deep into my Bible. And it's crazy when you read the Bible.
Oh, listen.
Like when you really actively read the Bible and try to comprehend what it's trying to tell you, you'll be so surprised from what you take from it. So that was my first step, start to read the Bible, start to go to church religiously. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. I don't make it to church every Sunday.
None of us are perfect.
But I have discovered a faith for myself that it's unbreakable. No one can tell me differently about what I believe and how I perform in my day using that belief and faith.
What has Christ given you that the world could not?
Just wisdom. I would say wisdom, because I hear people talk about God and about this, no, not necessarily scripture. I hear people talking about what they think you should be doing as a Christian, but they don't back it up with the scripture. This is exactly what we were talking about earlier as well. Right? So how can I listen to someone who's telling me, oh, Christians shouldn't do this and Christians shouldn't do that, when you don't even justify it through the word itself? Right?
Like, have you read this book? Do you understand that debauchery, murder, all of this madness has been going on way before our time?
Exactly.
If you think a Christian is a perfect person, you're deluded.
Very.
Hear me, and I said this last session, the church is full of sinners. We show up like humble. We are sinners. God, like, use me. I am a sinner, but I openly profess that I am a sinner, but I'm accepting Lord Jesus Christ into my life. I'm begging for forgiveness, and I'm gonna try and do better. That's the difference. So if you're holding a Christian onto this pedestal and saying, well, you shouldn't be doing that, and you shouldn't be doing that, listen, like, let he who is without sin cast the first stone. If you know your Bible, you will know that story where Jesus stood there.
Away.
Everybody just walked away, and you know what Jesus did? Jesus bent down and he wrote something in the dirt. And what I believe he was doing in the dirt there was basically writing their names, the people that were judging, writing their names. Because those that judge need to be very, very, very careful about what you're doing. You have to be, because none of us are without original sin. This is what Genesis is all about. So when people come at you for your faith, we just need to stand firm and recognize that, listen, we go to church. The church is our hospital. That is my top up, right? Because I know that I need it, because I admit and acknowledge that I'm a sinner. Because we can never be perfect. But that's exactly how Christ made us, right? While we were still sinners, Christ died for us. While we were still sinning. I think that's Romans 5:8, right? What greater love could there be than that? What greater love? And when you know that he went through all of that, became man to demonstrate that to us. Like for me, that set me on fire. That set me on fire. And like you, when I was struggling, mentally I was in a world of pain. Nobody could understand. People might try, but nobody could understand. When I sat in the depths of my sorrow and my pain, and I was alone behind closed doors, and my mental was just struggling, God showed up, and he hasn't stopped showing up for me.
He works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, and all you got to do is be still. Ask him, talk to him, be still.
Yeah, he'll even show up through your enemies.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
So pay attention.
And how your enemies become your biggest blessings.
Yes.
Listen.
Yes, you gotta really
Listen.
pay attention to everyone around.
I'm always asking, what can this teach me? I feel triggered by this person. What am I supposed to learn from you?
Yeah.
You know? How is the enemy trying to attack me? Because the angle the enemy tries to attack you from is usually where you are the biggest threat. And the more attacked you're being is because you have a great purpose.
Exactly.
You have a big purpose and he don't want you to have that. Right? So that's exactly where you ought to be running directly to. And know that you wear the full armor of God. To me, that is so, it's just so powerful and beautiful, and it strips away any fears, doubts, concerns I have about people judging me, because I know who I am.
Yeah.
When you're so authentic and convicted about who you are, I'm a child of God. Like you said, there's nothing you can tell me. You can judge me all day. Your opinion doesn't matter to me. There's only one judge for me. Right? That's the only judgment I care about. So I'm sorry if I hurt your feelings, but I'll be more sorry if I hurt his.
Right.
Right? So if there's a choice, I know whose feelings I'm going to have to hurt. How do you find, you know, with today's day and age and culture and just being in this digital age where everything's accessible, how do you find walking in faith, you know, running a business, staying in line with your integrity? Do you find that challenging, or is it easy for you in this day and age?
Oh, it's the hardest thing you can do, actually, because social media has made that very difficult in terms of vanity and too much self-love, right? Being idolizing yourself, right? Remember, idolatry.
Yeah.
Right? You shouldn't idolize yourself. Right? You need to be content with where you are, but obviously leave room for improvement.
Yeah.
And I'm saying that from the spiritual side. I don't know the verse exactly, but there is a verse saying that you need to find contentment with yourself.
Yes.
And be happy with where you are. Because being an idol of money, or being an idol of fame, or being just swayed through man's world is it's gonna take you off the narrow path.
Yeah.
Right. So in the fitness industry, and I'm sure a lot of men do feel this way too. You'll go on Instagram, for example, and you'll see all the fitness influencers, and there are women wearing very short shorts, and you know, you can see everything, very revealing. Excuse me, very revealing. And what does that encourage for a man? Lust. Right? That was a problem that I've had, being 100% real. That would make me very lustful if I were to see a woman and be like, clearly I'm not looking at her workout, right? So you've touched on two very powerful things there. You've touched on lust and you've touched on modesty. And it's a really interesting topic that actually is something I've been reflecting on myself a lot more lately. Yes, the Bible does speak on modesty, not just for women to be modest, for those that are about to jump down our throat, men too, right?
Now, the Bible isn't specific about what modesty ought to look like, right? Especially it couldn't be for this day and age. But that's a personal relationship between you and God. What do you feel is modest, that honors God and glorifies? Because your body is not your own, remember? I think we forget that. It's not yours. Temple of God. It was paid for at a price, okay? A premium. It's not yours. So this is something I myself have grappled with, because I've gone through the whole bodybuilding, prep and everything, and that's very revealing. And I felt very convicted towards the end of it, and I've started to dress in a way that I believe is honouring God based on my personal relationship. This is not coming from a space of judgment to anybody who wants to wear skimpy clothes to the gym. Wear what you want, do what you want. However, you have to recognise that your body is not your own, and we have to be honouring God and glorifying Him in all areas of our lives. And I tell you, when I felt convicted about it, I love to wear the nicest, fitted. You saw me in the gym. I used to be in my tight shorts and tight tops. I justified it as, I want to see my muscles, right? And there is an element to that. You want to wear things that are practical and functional. So I want to see my quads. I want to see my glutes. I want to see, everything I can see in the mirror. But then for me, it became, and this is just my personal opinion, it became that I was maybe getting a little bit vain. And also, I also recognized the looks and the stares. And it's not that it is my responsibility to stop men staring at me. Absolutely not, okay? Women, I'm not taking away women empowerment here. How men look at you, it doesn't matter what you wear. Men still look at me now and I'm more covered, right? You can't stop somebody from sexualizing you. But what I will say is, I did not like the way that I was being looked at. So for me, to reduce that, and so that I could feel that it was not something that I was igniting, I just decided to cover up a little bit more. But the moment that really struck me was I decided I was going to start going to adoration. So in the Catholic faith, adoration is where you go and sit with the Holy Eucharist. Outside of Mass, they have a chapel at St. Ignatius. You can go in there and sit in there, and it's very, very reverent. It's very special, because we believe that the Holy Eucharist, the bread, is actually Christ's body. It becomes there's something that happens with a special prayer, the transfiguration. It becomes the body of Christ once it's been blessed. We don't believe it's a symbol, we believe it's Him. So it's in the tabernacle, it's in the Holy Eucharist in the chapel. So I decided I was going to go sit with Christ every day after dropping off my daughter, and I would go and sit in the chapel. But I was going to the gym straight after, so I was in my tight gym fit, and I was like, oh no, I can't go sit with Jesus like this. And then it clicked. I was like, if you don't feel comfortable going and sitting at the feet of God, dressed like that, why do you feel comfortable walking around the gym like that? Right? Because then I recognized there was a misalignment here with who Chelsea Flynn thinks and feels she is. If you are a child of God in the church, then you need to be a child of God in the gym.
The church.
That's when it hit me. So for me personally, that was a conviction of mine. So I have been, believe me, and I'm hot, I'm hot in these baggy t-shirts, I'm hot in these full length, but also there's another angle of it for the women out there who are single and you want a man of God. How are you preparing yourself for that man of God, right? I'm in my season of preparation. God knows the desires of my heart, and if that is what He wants to give me at some point, then I need to be prepared for that. And I started asking myself, would your man of God like to see your gym pictures, flexing your glutes and all of that all over your social media? Probably not, because it's precious. I am precious, right? I am his daughter, and I'm proud of that. That there's an element of this transformation that I've been going through that is bringing me closer to God. And believe me, like the way God speaks to me, He blesses you when you show up for Him. So yes, there's sacrifice, yes there is. You might not feel as empowered as a woman or as sexy, but when you start questioning your own motives, why do you want to feel sexy?
Yeah, exactly.
Why do you need to feel sexy? Do you know you're beautiful? Do you know every single hair on your head is counted? And even if nobody can see your amazing quads, because I've got good quads, right? I got good quads and good glutes. I've been working on them for 2 years.
We saw the pictures.
Yeah. So listen, not anymore though. No one can see anymore. So I don't deny my past, and I give myself grace for that. I hope God gives me grace for that. But when you really choose to show up for Him, you have to stop being of the world. We've got to set ourselves apart. and people have to see that in you, and that's a personal choice of mine. And there may be personal choices in other people's lives that bad habits are bringing them away from God, that you might decide, actually I need to be more for him, so how can I do that? You know, alcohol was a huge one for me. I had to cut it out. Didn't like the woman I was when I was drinking. It didn't make sense.
Yeah, and it's one of those things as well. People believe that as soon as you get saved, everything's going to change. No, it's a journey.
It gets harder.
Yeah,
We get challenged even more. It's like, oh man, like, oh, now God's convicting me about everything. I'm like, oh, am I gossiping? Oh, I'm swearing.
Exactly.
Everything.
And then that forms self-doubt.
Yes, and you're like, oh, I'm not even worthy, but isn't that beautiful? Then you can fall at his feet and be like, I'm not worthy, and yet you still love me.
Yeah.
Just like a father would. You love me.